Hi, Miss Wheeler. So my project was on Duchenne muscular dystrophy, also known as DMD, and it primarily affects the bone structure and muscles in your body and how your bones repair itself. Sorry. Oop. Okay. Duchenne muscular dystrophy causes skeletal and heart muscle weakness. It affects the skeletal system and any muscles in your body makes it a lot weaker, and it is a progressive disorder, so as you get older it does worsen. So in babies you'll see bowed legs, and then in teen years legs are um harder to use, so you'll see that a lot of people with Duchenne muscular dystrophy move on to using a wheelchair to get around and move around. And symptoms usually begin by age 6. They're very, if you have it, you'll definitely see it in early childhood. And the disease also is very prominent in boys. This is because it is an X-linked recessive disease. So with this diagram here, this whole thing, you can see that if you were to have a female and male, and you did the genetic testing of it, you would see that a girl is not going to be affected if the mom has it and isn't a carrier. It's very it's more seen in boys because it's an X-linked recessive, what we learned in bio last year. Boys will only need one copy of it compared to girls who will need 2 copies of it to be affected. If they have one copy of it, they'll just be a carrier right here. And as of right now, there is no cure, but there are many treatments, treatments that you can take to help your your genetics. There's this protein that's not seen in that's absent, which causes this disorder, so people can take things for that to help build and repair your muscles. And there are also there is physical therapy, because physical therapy can help patients with this disease work their legs and arms and their whole body better. And as you can see here, it can also be seen to cause scoliosis. It's not called scoliosis, but it looks like scoliosis. It's just because of the disease. Now there are over 30 types of muscular dystrophy, and the main symptoms include late walking, frequent falls, trouble rising from the floor or lying or seated position, trouble running, jumping, or climbing stairs, waddling gait, walking on the toes or the balls of the feet. And with all of these symptoms, you can see them in early childhood, and if you see them, you want to get your child checked out for it. The most obvious one is bowed legs. If your child has their legs and it's not straight, like here it's straight, but if it's not straight, it'll be like that, kind of, just not straight. So that's one big sign. It's very big on affecting the legs and causing a lot of trouble with walking, and that's why as you get older and it progresses and gets worse, a lot of people go for the wheelchair to help them get around. I like this. I put this in because I think it shows a really good way to show the progression of DMD. So how it starts in kids, and then it the way it affects kids as they get older, and it progresses, and then you have to go for a wheelchair because it gets so bad that you can't use your legs anymore. Your legs get very, very weak. You can't use the muscles, and you're missing that protein dystrophin, which helps to repair your muscles, so your body's just very, very weak and fragile. This is also a good representation of someone with severe muscular dystrophy. How you have the spine and it's curving that way, and it almost looks like your rib cage is bulging out of you, and his toes are pointed inwards, and here this would be the straight leg compared to the bowed leg, which is a big sign. Let's see. So as you get older and the disease progresses, you lose more muscle, the ability to move more, like you lose your ability to walk, and this will occur in like your mid-teen years. And then going into adulthood, you'll have like maybe trouble breathing and then trouble walking. It gets really bad where you will need to have like a wheelchair or something to help you walk. And the organ now that is affected by Duchenne muscular dystrophy is the cytoskeleton. And I thought this was kind of funny because last year when we did the speed dating, I had the cytoskeleton. So I kind of went back and found my project from last year and kind of took some of what I said last year into this. So the cytoskeleton is seen in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. It kind of, like without it, there wouldn't be a cell. Like it would just basically die because it holds it together. Cytoskeletons are composed of 3 different filaments, including microfilaments, microtubules, and intermediate filaments. And they ultimately determine the shape of the cell and the organization of the cytoplasm within. So it helps like to determine where everything goes, like the lysosome, nucleus, and everything. And flexibility is also very important for the cytoskeleton. It is important for it to be flexible because if it's stiff or anything, it can limit how the cell can shape. The cell shape can change and move. So these are like little diagrams of the cytoskeleton. Okay. Now, how is the cytoskeleton affected with DMD? So, DMD, as we know, is X-linked, and it is a degenerative muscle disease, and the ultimate molecular cause of it is the absence of dystrophin, but it also is caused by the absence of the absence of a microtubule-associated protein dystrophin. So it is a microtubule-associated protein, meaning that it goes hand in hand with the cytoskeleton because it is the cytoskeleton is comprised of microtubules. So with it being missing and absent in the cell, it causes a disorganized and denser microtubule cytoskeleton. So this is also limiting the flexibility that the cytoskeleton has in the cell. And the importance of this protein dystrophin is that it is a protein that helps ultimately to repair the muscles and like all of everything that goes in like the muscles and bones and the tissue of it. So here I included a nice this is like an image of a muscle tissue without DMD, and then this is the muscle tissue with DMD. So in the muscle tissue with DMD, there is the absence of the protein dystrophin. So it's not there to help repair the muscles. And also, with it being missing, there is also increased calcium in the muscle tissue and stress. So the cellular impact. I also included what was like on the last slide, but here like more close up. And then here it says that there's extracellular calcium ions and fat and fibrotic tissue, which causes the muscle cell to be damaged. The muscle tissue. So in DMD, the loss of dystrophin disrupts the cytoskeleton's stability and ability, as well as flexibility, to function properly in the cell. This causes disorganized microtubules, stress, and repeated muscle cell damage that leads to cell death, also known as apoptosis, and weakened muscle tissue. So that is basically what DMD is, where your muscle tissue is weakened, your muscle cells die, so weaken even more. And it progresses, like as you get older, this disease stays with you and it progresses and your muscle cells get worse. And you just get weaker and your bones get very, very fragile. But as I said in the first slide, there are treatments for it. And while there is no cure, these treatments aim to slow down the disease and how it progresses, as well as improve muscle functions and manage the complications that come with the disease DMD, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So these treatments can include physical therapy, FDA-approved gene therapy, beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, respiratory therapy, corticosteroids, exon skipping, bone marrow cells, and non-steroidal medication. And of course, many more, but these were like the main ones that people use most often to treat DMD. Summary. Okay. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is an X-linked recessive disease seen mostly in boys. The cytoskeleton is the organelle affected by DMD, and the lack of the protein dystrophin is a molecular cause of the disease. DMD has no cure, but can be treated to better the symptoms. And symptoms show up in early childhood, around the age of 6, and the average lifespan of someone with DMD is around 22 years old. I know the oldest person that I was able to find with DMD was like 29 years old, so definitely like the 20s range is like the lifespan. And without the protein dystrophin, the cytoskeleton cannot function properly and the cell is damaged. So muscle cells are more likely to die without the protein helping it. And then this is like the discussion questions I would have asked the class. So do you think genetic testing is important and helpful for us to learn from? And do you know anyone that has DMD or a different type of muscular dystrophy? And that's my presentation. These are my references. I use a lot of references. Okay. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.